Hello everyone, good evening and namaste. This is Vimal Mahendru, IEC Ambassador, coming to you from COP26 in Glasgow. Today is November 1st and it's the first day of the two-day negotiation dialogue between the heads of country. And while I'm here with you, the heads of country are in another hall sitting and having a deep discussion on the important matters related to climate change. Let me give you my first impressions of this conference. Three things. One, it's huge, not only in the topic and its significance, but also in number of delegates. I'm told that there are about 10,000 delegates here from all parts of the world. And when I have walked across, I've come across of people of all hues coming in national attire, cultural attire, and some of them trying to give a message even the way they are dressed. So it's a really interesting, eclectic mix of people here. I also have come across people who are from all kinds of stakeholder categories: students, researchers, academicians, people from the government. Policy, of course, are here in large numbers, but so are some industry and industry consortia equally represented here. The first day, some of the key messages that I have received are as follows. The first, I think everyone across whom I have met today has clearly echoed support for the climate action. I don't think there's anyone over here today who says this is not really true, or the figures are exaggerated, or we don't believe in this. Everyone agrees that there is a problem. They agree on the extent of the problem. I guess now the discussion is how do we address it, and I think that's the dialogue taking place. I also see a very strong message coming across in terms of policy initiatives, funding, and third is innovation. I heard the Swedish Prime Minister today morning specially talk about it. I'll come to this message a little briefly. The other aspect that I find conspicuously absent from the dialogue is the dialogue on standards and the significant role standards can bring to take innovation from one part of our world or our ecosystem and spreading it speedily across the world. I hope my colleagues and friends in IEC are listening, because I think the world is really looking for some key standards to deliver value across the global community. Last but not the least, I also realize that the dialogue is evolving very fast. Till a few years back, we were not even talking about climate neutrality or net zero carbon related matters, and today this is catching the total attention of the global leadership. One advantage for me personally coming to events like this is actually the lovely relationships that I'm picking up, contacts that I'm building, and also the number of wonderful people I'm meeting. For example, yesterday coming on the flight, I met with Ms. Dr. Mavis Sabanda, who actually went to college in the same town where I did, in Chandigarh in India, and now she is the Secretary of Industries in Zimbabwe. We had a wonderful dialogue on quality infrastructure, and she's actually seeking support of IEC for delivering on quality infrastructure for the country. I had the rare privilege of meeting once again my friend Rachel Kite, who till recently, you will recall, was the CEO of SE for All, which is Sustainable Electricity for All initiative of the UNDP. She has now, of course, given up that role and moved on to climate finance. She's also full-time engaged with the Tufts University, and an amazing person to be involved with. Her message was that we really need to bring genuine funding to climate action, otherwise all of this will not take place. It was indeed a pleasure hearing the Swedish Prime Minister, Mr. Stefan Löfven, who spoke about how Sweden as a country is pivoting itself for the future around climate action. In fact, he gave an incredible example of mining in North Sweden, where the entire mines have already become carbon neutral. He was talking about the steel industry over there, which is rapidly going toward carbon neutrality. I think these are great examples to follow, and we need to kind of work with some of these examples to bring some of their practices into standardization work we do at IEC. It was today a pleasure to listen to Sir Richard Attenborough, who in his own unique style was talking about how climate action is here and now, and it's not about delaying any action. I had also the privilege of meeting this very young professional, Eri Yamasumi of the UNDP office itself. She's a program specialist, and she's here as support for the UNDP team working on climate action. Then I had the privilege of meeting Mr. Satako Matsuda. Do excuse me for mispronouncing names. He is part of the Japanese pavilion here and representing Mitsubishi, which is doing some amazing work on decarbonization technologies. Then, of course, it was interesting to interact with Theodore Swedmark, who's from ABB. He's the Chief Sustainability Officer of ABB, and he was talking about what his expectations here at COP26 were from the political leadership in terms of policy and innovations, and he was talking about how ABB itself is providing a lot of innovation. And my question to him, which he agreed fully, was, hey, you're talking about innovation, but how do you take ABB's innovations worldwide? And of course the answer purely was international standards. With this, I conclude my report today. It's been an amazing experience, and I look forward to coming back to you again tomorrow. Interestingly, as a sidelight, these IEC SDG pins, these are a hot seller. A lot of people here were wearing the SDG pins, which were round with all the colors but are hollow inside. Now we are actually putting IEC at the center of the SDGs. With this, goodbye, and I'll try and reach out to you tomorrow again. Thank you. Bye-bye.